Good afternoon. This is the Elliott Wave weekly update for gold, silver, and platinum being recorded on Sunday, August the 24th at 1:40 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm starting here on gold. This is on the maximum monthly chart, so it's all the data that I have available. And this data goes back to 1975. So it includes that all-time high in 1980, which was 742. It actually was 800, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 873 to be exact, basis of futures market. And it also includes the highs made in 2011 at 1924, I'm going to call it. And so we are again in all-time highs for the price of gold. And I still expect more. So in essence, what we're in is a cycle degree, a 5-wave advance of cycle degree. So what's going to be in there? 5 waves of primary degree, of which 1 and 2 are complete. What's going to be inside of primary 3? 5 waves of intermediate degree, of which 1 and 2 are complete. What's going to be in intermediate wave 3? 5 waves of minor degree, of which 1 and 2 are complete. So you're getting the pattern here. It's like it's subdividing. It's subdividing, which really, if this is correct, which I believe that it is, what gold is continuing to do is just thrust higher. So in essence, now I think we're getting ready. So within minor 3, there are going to be 5 waves of minute degree. I think we're getting ready to finish wave 3, minute wave 3 of minor wave 3 of intermediate wave 3 of primary wave 3. So this has been a very large move, and you can see the intensity of how the market is now moving up. This was pretty steep, and this is even steeper as we keep pushing higher. I expect that to kind of continue for right now as we get minor 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then, excuse me, minute 3, 4 and 5, then minor 3 being put in place and a 4 and a 5, etc. as we just bump up each level until the thirds are done, the fourths are done, and the fifths are done. So there's still quite a bit of upside left to do. And there's going to be a whole slew of reasons why gold is going to rally. Right now, gold put in a decent rally on Friday. I'm just going to come right down here to the daily chart. Actually, let me just take it up one and work my way down. So we can see here is minute 1 and 2. There is the minor wave 2, minute 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 of the minuet degree. So I believe we're in minuet wave 5, which looks like it's going to show up as 5 waves. Now, that being the case, we have wave 5 equal to wave 1 at 36.65. So that would, in my mind, be a minimum. And it happens to coincide with the minute third also coming in at about that same area, 36.65. Now, we could spring through that and end up around 38.75, and that would just put this 5th wave at 1.618. So first we go to 100. The second most common is 1.618, where wave 5 is 1.618 times the length of wave 1. That's 38.75, approximately. So, and then I do believe that here, we are going to eventually, and I think sooner rather than later, hit that 4,000 mark. And that might be from there that this market will put in a little bit larger of a pullback in the way of a 4th wave. So these are going to be very important times and very important levels to measure and to keep in mind. For the long-term picture, any pullback, basically, in my view, is just providing additional opportunity to pick up more longs, to get longer. There are going to be several ways that people can trade it. If they, being the fact that if we get up to 36 to 38, possibly into 4,000, we're going to be looking for a pullback from there all the way up. So the bottom of wave 2 up to the top of wherever wave 3 comes in, we'll be looking for something there. Previous 4th wave happens to be sitting at 3,300. And that continues to hold for right now. But even if we get up here, that's going to be the first target, is the previous fourth wave of one lesser degree. And since we're finishing a minute third, then it's going to be the minuet fourth wave. And that's right in here. And it was a triangle. So bringing it down from there, let's take a look on the inside of this. Here's the daily chart. And so I had placed this first wave of the minuet wave 5 in place at that spike high we got, and this would have been on the 8th of August, so approximately about 3 weeks ago. And then the market has just been consolidating ever since. And I know it was spike and it was news that put the spike into place, but now it's not coming back to me as to what it was, or what created it, because it was quick up and then quick down. And so that being put in place, I think it's all still a part of wave two. That wave two could be done to here, and I'm going to come out of the daily, I'm going to go down to the hourly, or, right there it is, it's only wave A. And this is now wave B, and we still have some additional down. Now, yes, there's a possibility that this is AB and an elongated fifth wave down. And so it could be ABC, and I could put the 2 here. And this is working into 1 and ABC 2, and we're starting to launch inside the third, which would be a very strong positive. It was a strong rally for gold on Friday. The gold, as far as the market goes, we had 34.22 is the high, maybe got a little bit higher. Yeah, it got up to 23. So that was the high, and that was being launched off of the fact of when the numbers came out, or it was actually after uh, Jerome Powell's speech last Friday. And as the markets rallied, the dollar sank, and that pushed gold uh, into a nice rally. Now, if we're going to continue, as the market continues to factor in and price in a rate cut, now they're convinced, yep, we're going to get a rate cut. It was not confirmed, or even, yes, it was spoken of that rate cuts are possible in the near future, but to say it was September, no. So the market continues to say, yeah, we'll be, and we're counting on it. Now, regardless of any of that, it's a strong rally. And if I believe that the market is going to continue, at least for the beginning of the week, I'm hoping today and Globex open, and then tomorrow, I hope that we continue, and that the dollar would continue to sell, and that would provide some strength to this rally picking up some steam. Now, for upside, we really don't have a whole lot. If I'm going to count that as 2, I can do something as like this. I can go up here to there and come back down to this wave 2, if indeed it is the wave 2. And now you can see 35.90 all the way up to 37.32. And yes, if we can pick up some steam, we've seen it, we know that gold can do it. And if they want to tack on $100, then they're going to be at 35.17 real quick. And so I think that that's a possibility, actually. So depends. If we start popping up to new highs, the market can tend to be a little bit thin. So in other words, it's like if you have a large order that you got to buy, or you got to cover a short or whatever, it may take a lot of points to get that done, because it just thins out. There's not going to be much to sell if the prognosis is that gold is moving higher based on lower rates. Nobody's going to be interested in selling it. If you're long, you're going to keep it. So they have to have a reason to sell, and a lot of that will come from like GLD. But then they can sell GLD, and they don't need to come to gold to do it, but they might do it anyway. Or just some profit taking at new highs. All things are possible. But I think if this rally comes in, and I can count that as 1 and put the 2 there, that's our markers. And I don't think anything in here should stop it if we're beginning to go up, either in wave 1 of 3, or still within the 3 of a third. So we're still inside this build up, one, two, three, and how far should that go? We can do another small, put it down, and then bring it down to there. Now we have all the way up to 30, 34.75, 34.32, which we basically almost got to on Friday. So I think we have to go higher, 34.75, or possibly even up to some of these levels. So again, I'm just adding fibs as if this is 1, 2, and then I got another 1, 2. What we're looking for, again, an explosive rally to push and continue to push the markets higher. So I may just leave that on there and put it into, no, I need to edit this. And we'll go there. And I'm just going to leave that in as for sub minuet degree. And so we have some markers to where we might find resistance on the way up. And I'll start from 618 and then do 1 and 1.618 because I think I really can go even higher, but we'll leave it to these and then see what it looks like once we get up there. 618 because it's just likely could be, just below 3,500 that it gets up there, pulls back a little bit as this beginning wave. That third might complete. We get a little bit of a four and then we go pushing again, and that could happen at this level. It's a normal resistance level for a rally like 0.618. And then the 100% is where the third wave will be equal to the first wave. And I'm always looking for a little bit more. So again, that's still in play. So it's actually for gold, it's looking like the rally is about ready to begin again. Now, if it doesn't, don't forget how this got left on Friday is an ABC. Now, if this was indeed an ABC down for wave A, then maybe there's still a little bit more. But if we don't get that formation going where we get that clean 3, 4, and a 5 to give us that 5 up, and it remains a 3, then I'm going to be looking for additional downside. So the other side of this coin is, yes, we have some power if we can get it going to move to the upside and it fits within an Elliott count. But if the wave 2 is not done yet, then we still have 33.50. And this I'm leaving in because this is where it should not cross. If it comes down and it goes below the starting point for wave 1, then it's not a wave 2. I'm going to have to back it out to here and decide that maybe from this level, from that level, and I just go back out to my daily, that this was wave 5. This was the minuet wave 5. And that this point completed minute 3. And yes, if that's the case, we're going to come down and we likely would break below 3,300 as the market corrected. Not that the rally's over. It would be a fourth wave. This would be minute wave 3, and we'd be in a minute degree fourth wave. And that would be the first marker, but it's going to go through it. So again, because it's the minuet, so off of that, we'd be looking for here. So again, what we could have is the A, the B, could be a flat, it could be a lot of different things. So we have to let this trade out a little bit. But I think that the bullish tone is going to come back with some strength. If the dollar continues to sell, if the market continues to posture towards that interest rates are going to be cut in September, and then there's a fair chance that we could just kind of keep the rally going and have just more normal pullbacks, but just continue to build to the upside until actually we start to get above 36, above 37, and possibly above 38 before it's complete. All right. Now on the daily moving averages, they're kind of very mixed. They're kind of sitting in there. Right now, there's the 200, there's the 50, and the 8 and the 20 are kind of grouped together. I would imagine that that's going to start to separate if we pick up the rally again, starting in the Globex session here. I can go, that's on the daily. That's on the daily there. So I would think that the rally should help straighten it out. Otherwise, if it's going to be just a B wave and we got still downside, then we have the others, and we'll see what kind of goes on from there. Over in silver, silver continues to hold very strong promise, by the way. And so what we got going on here is again, strange pattern, but I believe that the rally is picking up again. Silver also had a pretty good day on Friday with the market going up. It's showing that it was actually down, but it basically was up pretty strong and reached just above 39 on Friday, and the low was 37. So it was up. It was up 95 cents, I believe, and probably came back a little bit after that extra hour of trade that we get each day. So here, as well as in gold, I'm looking for a fifth wave up. I'm looking for a minuet fifth wave up to complete a minute third. And so this, I think, was wave four. This could be wave one of five. This could be wave two of five. And then we're in that start of three, which would suggest we're going to break cleanly above 39. We should break to new all-time highs by getting above 39.95. So 40 is basically within reach now. And that would suggest that we're going to go above 40 because our next markers after that are coming in closer to 42. So again, market's going to get thin, I believe, and it's like if you need to cover, you're going to have to push. So yes, I think we could spike. As the market goes after this, we could spike, as we have seen in other places, as the market starts to break higher. And so this was a good start. Maybe we get a little bit continuation of a pullback, but if indeed this is 4, and this is A, B, and this would be a C, but we'd have to put an A on it. Or just, this is A and this is all a B of this 4, leaving the 4 still in motion. And then if that's the case, well, then here's our markers coming down. 36.81, 36.20, and then 35 for 30, 35.50, I'm going to call it. And then we're going to put a 4 there. Here's wave 1, and that's where wave 4 can't cross over. So there's still no danger there. So there's the two scenarios. Either we're going to continue to pop, we're going to continue to go higher. I believe then we have a fair shot at breaking above 39.95, or at least getting up there, which again would put the market in new all-time highs. Not by a whole lot, but by enough to start possibly even getting up close to 40. And it might get up to 40, get above it, maybe on a stop run, I don't know, but we'll look for something so that we get some follow through going in here. And then that's the case, then it's 4, 1, 2, and we're in a third. So those are the two scenarios. It's very unclear right now, so we have to let the market trade out and see where this is going to go. The bias tends to be to the long side right now because of the market pricing in a rate cut in September. So we're going to see about gold as well. Moving averages, they're lining back up. This is on the daily. There's the 200. There's the 50. And the 20 and the 8 are basically wrapped around each other right there, but turning higher. Now, to bring it back out, look at the 5-week. It's still, pretty steep. Nice rally. The declines have been pretty hard, but nice rallies that we get this momentum going. We could have a serious nice rally coming up here, getting this right up to 42. Now, bringing it out here, taking a look at the maximum chart, it truly still, we're in this Y, this WXY coming up, and I think ultimately, yes, these levels are here for a reason because that's the fib. These are the fibs coming up, and it could get parabolic. You can almost start to see it, which is, yes, the declines are very strong, but so are the rallies. And so if it starts to get parabolic as it gets up to here, then it's going to resemble everything we've seen in the past. As the market goes into that, you can see it building, and then suddenly just goes, whoa, pop. And if it does it up here, it could be pop or even pop. It could get real high real fast. So, but I want to send out a little bit of caution here because you can see each time this market has done that, you have to see what happens after. Bam, bam, goes up, bam. And we're talking about how it came from 49 and the next stop was 32 and a half. So it can spike and then it's done. And so I urge caution. I know I have a lot of, or know of people that have long positions and they're all looking for this type of a move. But do not overstay your welcome simply because of the pattern that silver tends to do. So that high could be here, that high could be new. So that would be above 50. And we have a couple of stronger fibs around 51.20 to 51.80, and it could zip. And then it's like you would not be the only one who wants to get out if you're long. You will not be the only one. There'll be a lot of get me out. Let me take the profit. Because if it thrusts itself up there, the profits pick up so quickly. So again, silver also looking good. And I think it needs to kind of break this trend line to just get the parabolic nature really into gear. And that's when I think it's like we thrust up through that, then we've got momentum on our side. So, right about, 40. If we get above that, then it's 42, 44, 46, 48. You see, it's like every $2 and it just kind of can go. Once it's out of its boundary, I think we could go and it could go very quickly. Because something else can come in, by the way. Another reason for purchasing precious metals, if something is going to show inflation, if something's going to show, the threats of war, we know that that's sitting out there. Threats of increasing, of escalating, a conflict. So that all could push both gold, silver, and platinum higher. So here on the daily, let's take a look and see if we can see those moving averages. There's the 200, there's the 50. You got the 8 coming above the 20. So yep, on the daily, just beginning, we're going to see a little bit of space come in between the 8 and the 20, and then we're in alignment, clean alignment to go up. Right now, we just did it. And that would have been due to that rally that we saw on Friday. So let's see if this can pick up and continue. And then lastly, let's take a look at platinum, which actually did also have 3 solid days of decent rally last week. And but guess what? I mean, I moved this 4 because I have to tell you, it's like there's one way I can count this as an ABC, but there's another way that I can count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to that level, which would make it A of 4. It was a pretty huge third wave at a minor degree. And it did come down just below the 382, most common for a fourth wave. That's all fine. So what we have is that maybe this is A, we're coming up in a B, we come back down in a C, and we end up down here at the 50% level, which is 1233. I can't rule that out, nor can I rule out that this was like a kind of a diagonal wave 1, and this is wave 2, and now we're going to start to go up in a wave 3. And if that is the case, folks, then, well, I kind of have to, where do I put this in? I have to put this in as 3, and that would have to be the 4, and then you got to go like this. That's the 4. That's what we're looking at. Minimally 1463. We've already been above it. For minor 5 to break above minor 3, you're looking at 1585 to 1600. Could platinum get there? Yes. Platinum can get there. We've seen beyond odds how it'll just go. It'll just go. This was pretty much a diagonal 5th wave to complete. This could have been a diagonal 1st wave to start. And that was a wave 2. And now we're getting ready for a wave 3, and we're getting ready to launch. So I'm leaving this all in place. So we're either going to launch or we're going to come back down and we're going to complete this 4 and then launch. So I think the activity is getting ready to brew a little bit here in the metals, here in gold, silver, and platinum. And while I think gold and silver carry a little bit more towards the long side, I think platinum can be included there, but platinum, I think, has equal weighting that it could go in either direction. And that in that case, I can't say that gold or silver would not. And in fact, gold or silver could lead platinum into a downside move. But again, not so severe. The problem in platinum is that it could go down $100 pretty quickly and not really be doing all that much price damage other than it's $100 in comparison to how high it got. All right, so I am going to finish it there for our precious metals. Let me just take a look at our moving averages here, and you can see that they're actually not quite there yet on the daily. Here's the 200, there's the 50, riding the coasting on the bottom, and then we have the 20. So the 8 needs to get back above the 20, and the 20 is sitting at, come on, at 1356. And so I think we need a little bit more rally because the market closed at 1369. And if we get that, then the 8 should go up above that 20 pretty quickly, and then we're in alignment to go up. All right, so that is the name of that tune, and this is where I'm going to finish it for this week. The next update will be next week.